Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily News Analysis. Let's look at the top stories of the day. Kerala's Kite Initiative recognized by UNICEF. Central Adoption Resource Authorities directions to state adoption resource agencies. Group of Friends for Accountability of Crimes Against Peacekeepers. India dispatched 3 lakh doses of measles rubella vaccine to Bolivia. US adds TRF to terror list for 𝗣𝗹𝗯𝗃 strike. European Union sanctions Gujarat refinery for buying Russian crude. Work on first phase of jungle safari in the Aravallis to begin soon. Nistar, first indigenous diving support vessel commissioned into Navy. Platform fee and industry standard inevitable outcome. US rejects World Health Organization's Global Pandemic Response Accord. News in detail. Let's start with the first article. So Kerala's Kite Initiative. So what is the context? Kerala's Kite Initiative has gained national and international attention for ethically integrating artificial intelligence in school education, with UNICEF recognizing it as a global best practice in responsible edtech. Now let's look at what is Kite Initiative. Kerala Infrastructure and Technology for Education. KITE is the technology arm of Kerala's General Education Department. It was established to integrate digital tools and AI in school education while ensuring transparency, inclusion, and teacher autonomy. It was launched by Government of Kerala, and the objective is to enable ethical, equitable, and open source based AI integration in public education. This empowers both teachers and also students and also protect data sovereignty. What are the key features of this AI initiative? Mass teacher training. Trained around 80,000 plus teachers from classes 8 to 12 in critical AI use, including bias detection, privacy concerns, and curricular alignment. Free and open source software adopted across 15,000 plus schools, ensuring autonomy, cost effectiveness, and transparency with AI tools. Samagra Plus AI platform. It is Kerala's own RAG-based AI engine curated by expert teachers, which aligns directly with state curriculum to avoid test prep or bias traps. Student-centric innovation. Little Kites IT clubs train students in robotics and AI through hands-on contextual learning, which was praised by UNICEF as a global best practice. Data sovereignty and bias resistance. By using in-house infrastructure and open datasets, KITE avoids commercial surveillance models and ensures bias-resistant AI responses. So this article can be used as a case study and also as an example in various GS papers. So kindly note it down. Central Adoption Resource Authority. The Central Adoption Resource Authority has directed state adoption resource agencies to strengthen structured counseling across pre, during, and post-adoption stages, ensuring emotional well-being of all stakeholders. So what is Central Adoption Resource Authority? It's a statutory body under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. It was established in 1990 and became statutory under the Juvenile Justice Act 2015. It is headquartered in New Delhi. What is the mandate of this organization? It regulates, monitors, and facilitates in-country and inter-country adoption of Indian children. Central Authority for Inter-Country Adoption under Hague Convention on Inter-Country Adoption 1993 was ratified by India in 2003. So, this enhances the organization's international role. Now, what are the main objectives of this CARA? Ensure ethical, transparent, and timely adoption processes, protect the rights of orphaned, abandoned, and surrendered children, also facilitate psychological support during all phases of adoption. Key functions of Central Adoption Agency is regulation and accreditation. It monitors registered adoption agencies nationwide. Digital oversight manages the Carings portal for adoption transparency. Policy implementation issues binding directions under Juvenile Justice Act and adoption regulations, and capacity building. It trains adoption professionals and empanels qualified counselors. Support framework ensures counseling services for biological parents, adoptive parents, and adopted children. Group of Friends for Accountability of Crimes Against Peacekeepers. India reiterated its strong commitment to ensuring justice for crimes against UN peacekeepers at a high-level meeting of the Group of Friends at the UN headquarters, calling accountability a strategic necessity. As you all know, India is one of the largest troop contributors to UN peacekeeping force. So this is an India-led initiative. It's an informal platform of UN member states committed to advancing justice for crimes against UN peacekeepers and strengthening global peacekeeping norms. It was launched in December 2022 during India's presidency of UN Security Council. And the membership includes around 40 UN member states, co-chaired by India and like-minded countries from Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And the objective is to promote legal and policy framework to prosecute crimes against peacekeepers. It also ensures deterrence by addressing impunity. And it also upholds credibility and integrity of UN peacekeeping operations, especially in Sahel countries, Sahel region of Africa. Now, the key function. It facilitates dialogue among states, UN bodies, and experts. It also supports investigation mechanisms and legal reforms. Track implementation of UNSC Resolution 2589, which was proposed in 2021, which mandates accountability for attacks on peacekeepers. The group also advocates for reports from UN Secretary General on progress made. Now, what is the significance of this grouping? It is vital for the safety of UN peacekeepers who are indulged in high-risk missions in high-risk areas all over the world. It reinforces trust in multilateralism and India's leadership in peacekeeping. It aligns with India's legacy of contributing over 3 lakh peacekeepers, the highest by any country. The grouping also safeguards operational morale and legal protections for personnel from Global South countries. Now, what was the outcome of the July 2025 high-level meeting? Strategic framing of accountability. India called accountability a strategic necessity, not just a legal duty. That is, it is essential for peacekeepers' safety and mission success. Combating impunity. The Group of Friends reaffirmed that lack of punishment fuels more attacks on peacekeepers, undermining global peace efforts. This reaffirms India's role. India showcased its historical leadership with 182 peacekeeping martyrs and pledged continued legal, diplomatic, and moral support to the cause of peacekeeping. Moving on to the next news. This is from the perspective of places in news. Here we are looking at the country called Bolivia. It's a country from South America. India dispatched 3 lakh doses of measles rubella vaccine to Bolivia amid a disease outbreak, reaffirming its commitment to Global South health diplomacy. So what is the location of this country? It's a landlocked country in West Central South America. As you can see, the neighbors of Bolivia are Peru, Brazil, Paraguay, Argentina, and Chile. Now, the important physiographic features of Bolivia. Bolivia is part of the Andes Mountains, and it also hosts Cordillera Occidental and Cordillera Oriental. It is also part of Altiplano Plateau, and in Bolivia, we can see the famous Lake Titicaca, also famous and very important salt flats, and Bolivia is also part of Amazon drainage. Now, India's recent vaccine aid is part of broader South-South cooperation, South-South diplomacy under India's Development Partnership Program. India and Bolivia share warm ties, especially in multilateral platforms like the G77, non-alignment group of countries, and BRICS outreach events. Now, Bolivia is part of the Lithium Triangle. Bolivia, along with Chile and Argentina is called the lithium triangle, and Bolivia is rich in lithium, and it has shown interest in technology and energy collaboration with India. So please do mark Bolivia and its physiographic features in your atlas. US adds TRF to terror list for Pahalgam strike. In a move that is being viewed as an endorsement of India's international counter-terror campaign, the United States on Thursday designated the Resistance Front, TRF, as a foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist. The TRF, the Resistance Front, backed by Pakistan-based 𝗲𝗓𝗓𝗓 militant group, claimed to be behind the deadly April 22 terror attack that left 26 people dead in the Kashmiri town of Pahalgam. The External Affairs Ministry added that India's cooperation with international partners will continue to ensure that terrorist organizations and their proxies are held accountable. The UN Security Council passed a resolution on the Pahalgam attack on 25th April that condemned the attack but stopped short of naming the Resistance Front. After Operation Sindoor that targeted terror facilities and military bases in Pakistan, India launched a global campaign by sending multi-party delegations abroad and also sent a technical team to New York to present evidence regarding the Pahalgam terror attack to the monitoring team of the 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗓𝗔 Sanctions Committee that decides on the global listing of terrorist groups. Concerns on terrorism featured also in the 1st July Quad Foreign Ministers meeting, which was held in Washington, where a joint statement strongly condemned the Pahalgam attack. EU sanctions Gujarat refinery for buying Russian crude oil. The European Union has sanctioned a Gujarat-based refinery owned by Naira Energy Limited as part of a fresh sanctions package announced on Friday targeting Russia's energy sector. The announcement comes just as the US Congress debates tightening sanctions on purchasers of Russian crude oil, with India, China, and Brazil being named by US lawmakers as countries that could face penalties. Full-fledged sanctions, travel bans, asset freeze, ban on providing resources will apply to the refinery as per a statement from the European Union. The new EU sanctions also include a lowering of the oil price cap, that is, the maximum price countries can pay for Russian oil while using shipping and insurance from the advanced economies of the G7 group of countries. As part of enhanced banking sanctions, the number of banks sanctioned and the breadth of the sanctions is set to increase and will include a total transaction ban for 45 Russian banks. It also contains enlarged sanctions on Russia's so-called shadow fleet, ships that are sanctioned or transacting in sanctioned goods. Work on first phase of jungle safari in the Aravallis to begin soon. Haryana Forest and Wildlife Minister said the work for the first phase of 10,000-acre jungle safari in the Aravallis would begin soon, adding that the project would be equipped with world-class facilities. To be developed in an area of around 10,000 acres, the project would give a new identity to the National Capital Region in the direction of green and sustainable environment. It would be developed in 4 phases. The proposed project is spread across the districts of Gurugram and Nuh districts. A group of 37 retired Indian Forest Service officers had written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier this year seeking to scrap the project, arguing that the project's aim was to simply increase tourist footfall and not conserve the mountain range. Nistar, first indigenous diving support vessel commissioned into Navy. The Indian Navy on Friday commissioned INS Nistar, the first indigenously designed and constructed diving support vessel. The 118-meter ship, which is the first of 2 diving support vessels being built by Hindustan Shipyard Limited, is designed to undertake complex deep-sea saturation diving and rescue operations, a capability select navies possess across the globe. The commissioning of INS Nistar firmly reinforces the role of Indian Navy as the first responder and preferred security partner in the Indian Ocean region. Supporting the indigenous shipbuilding industry has been one of the pillars of the government's Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign. At present, all of the 57 new warships in the pipeline are being constructed indigenously. INS Nistar is installed with state-of-the-art diving equipment such as remotely operated vehicles, self-propelled hyperbaric lifeboat, diving compression chambers, etc. It can undertake diving and salvage operations up to 300 meters in depth. It would also serve as the mothership for deep submergence rescue vessel to rescue and evacuate personnel from a dived submarine in distress well below the surface. Platform fee and industry standard, an inevitable outcome. What started off as a small experiment, that is, a ₹2 platform fee on Swiggy in 2023, has now grown into an industry standard across e-com and quick-com platforms alike. The fee is no longer ₹2 either. Swiggy now charges ₹10 as a platform fee. There is GST applicable on top of this. The fees are netting relatively modest sums, Zomato said in a report for 2023-24 fiscal. The item earned 83 crore that year. Platform fees are now being charged across all major food and grocery delivery platforms such as Blinkit, Swiggy, Zomato, and Zepto. Even Amazon has started charging ₹5 marketplace fee, something it doesn't appear to charge users in other countries. This fee help the companies keep the app running smoothly, invest in product improvements, and continue delivering a smooth and convenient experience for users. The fee are a growing concern from a consumer point of view. If it is becoming an industry standard and all players are in tandem appearing to raise prices, then that will become a concern regarding anti-competitive practices and entities and platforms acting as a cartel to raise prices for consumers. Let's wait and watch what the government is going to do about the platform fee. The last news for the day, US rejects World Health Organization Global Pandemic Response Accord. The United States has rejected an agreement adopted by members of the World Health Organization to improve preparedness for future pandemics following the disjointed global response to COVID-19, the government said on Friday. US rejection of the legally binding pact, which was adopted in Geneva in May after 3 years of negotiations. The pact aims to ensure that drugs, therapeutics, and vaccines are globally accessible when the next pandemic hits. It requires participating manufacturers to allocate a target of 20% of their vaccines, medicines, and tests to the World Health Organization during a pandemic to ensure poorer countries have access. US negotiators left discussions about the accord after President Donald Trump began a 12-month process of withdrawing the USA, by far World Health Organization's largest financial backer, from the agency when he took office in January this year. Its exit, that means the USA's exit, means the USA would not be bound by the legally binding pact of WHO. With this, we come to an end of the session. Thank you. Have a nice day.